Heal the world, make it a better place for you and for me and the entire human race. There are people dying. If you care enough for the living, make a better place for you and for me. Hello everybody, I'm Lady Cheryl and I want to welcome you to my food forest and my YouTube channel. In this episode, I'm going to share with you how overgrown everything has become since we finally got some cooler temperatures and a lot of rain. So I'm going to do various projects around the food forest, like trimming up some of the overgrown plants. I'm also going to put a couple of trees, fruit trees, in the ground. Yeah, I suspect about 4 fruit trees are pot bound, and since the temperatures have dropped, I think it'll be a good time. Okay, let's get started. Everything is growing vigorously, and everything is overgrown because of the days of rain. No complaints, just stating facts. Everything is looking good though. Let's check out the beets that I'm growing from seeds in the grow boxes. They have grown a lot and they are bending leaves back. Oh, that's so pretty. This right here is a weed and it is not purslane that I like, so I'm taking it out. We don't need that. That's just taking up good real estate where I could be growing something else. But it will not go to waste. I will put that in a 5-gallon bucket. And you know what I'm going to do? I will be making compost tea out of it. So some of these beets are looking good. This is not the emergency garden. This is for me and my loved ones. Oh boy, I'm gonna try to film with my other hand and I have more strength in my right hand to get these real strong clips. I use these clips for everything, to shade, to net, to keep stuff in place. Oh, look over here. This is really squashing down. I'm gonna put the camera down and take all the clips off, and then I'll show you these 3 grow boxes, okay? Okay, let's start with the first grow box that's closest to the magnolia tree. These golden beets are looking good. Looking really nice. I think this is a red beet by the stem. You see it's red, and then that one right there is red. And then you can see the golden beet stem is a little bit different. This is really funny. This is a volunteer tomato plant. I'm gonna let it grow, see what happens. But I really think I probably would scoop it up. Yeah, I'm gonna scoop it up out of here and put it someplace else, because the little small hoop house that I'm gonna put over here, it won't accommodate that. It'll be too big. So when I'm ready, I'll scoop up this volunteer tomato plant and try to be careful. Let me get the beet because it has a shallow root right now. Let's get that right here, and we'll move it to right over here. See the little shallow roots? Let's get it all the way down in that hole, press down, and make sure that we don't have any air pockets. I'm gonna prop this one up a little bit better, and I see some little bitty weeds growing up there. Let's pat this down, look much better. Take this weed out. And everything else is looking good. You see some little mushrooms which happens when you get a lot of rain and you have healthy soil. Okay, so these are looking pretty good. Now let's look at the last box. Looks okay, but we could have more growth. But I may put a little Swiss chard in here. I'm not gonna plant any more seeds at this time because it's getting late and it's September and I want all of this stuff to grow before it freezes. So that's the overview. Now I'm gonna come back with the hoops. Okay, as you can see here, I put on 4 hoops on these grow boxes. It looks like a covered wagon. And I bought these hoops off of Amazon. They were shipped from China. I didn't know that at the time I purchased them. But it's okay because they work well. And most things like this come from China or were made in China. So I just want to show you how I put them in. Right here, there's like a corner of the box. So the hoops fit in there real nicely and snug. So I just take it, push it down in the soil. Right there in the corner. And they don't move. Unless a cat or something comes up here and move it. Okay? So now I can take this netting, but it has too many holes in it. Let me see if I can make it work. It has a few holes in it. I'll be back when I get it in position. So I secured these 3 grow boxes with the same netting that was on it. I see a few tears in the netting, but it's not too bad. I'll show you, like right here and here, 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 and here. But I think for the most part, the insects will stay out of it. But if I see insects start to emerge up under here, I will just take this off and put a nice, good piece on. I have a lot of it. As I said in previous videos, I use it all around my food forest for different reasons. But I'm gonna go in the house now and I'm gonna go get some of my insect spray repellent and I'll be back. In this spray bottle is a mixture that I make up by the gallons, and it is fermented onion scraps and garlic scraps. And I let it ferment for a couple weeks, sometimes a week. And then I add red pepper flakes that I make from the peppers that I grow in my food forest. And then I bring it to a boil, and then I strain it, and then I store it in gallons. And the longer you have it stored, the stronger the scent is, and most insects don't like it. Okay? And I'll put a link to that video in the description box. So I just simply will take this spray and just spray all around here to deter insects from flying around it. And I will do this every day up until it rains again. I think we're gonna have 3 days clear and then more rain and cooler temperatures. But guys, this is still Texas, and the weather in Texas is bipolar. So in the event that we get temperatures real hot again, like in the hundreds.
Did she just say the hundreds? Hell, if they get in the hundreds, everything gonna burn up, including you.
No, I should say 100 or 100 plus. I will put a shade cloth on these beets just to prevent them from bolting, because you know beets are a cool weather crop. So I'm going to get behind this magnolia tree and spray all in here. Okay, that's it. So let's move on to another project. Okay, so here's my next project. This is my dilemma. I planted this elderberry bush and it overgrew. Actually, the elderberry bush is not the issue. The issue is the muscadines next to it grew more than I anticipated. And these are some strong roots. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to just cut this back, way back to about right here and train it better so that I can open up my fence gate. See that? Yeah. I have no fear of the elderberry bush dying, cutting it off so low to the ground so that I can train it to lean more this way so I can open up my gate. And I'm going from, not too much, the muscadine vine, so that I'll have room for this elderberry bush in here. So I'm just going to take my little cutters right here and do my best to trim it all the way down. See right here, guys, look how much overgrown the muscadine bushes did. So come spring, I'm going to put a wider arbor in here to accommodate the muscadines. So this all will go into a new hugelkultur mound. A hugelkultur mound is a mound or a bed that you can make using tree branches and limbs and leaves and compost and wood chips. And eventually it'll break down and you can plant in it. So I'll find a spot for that in the food forest. I think I know the perfect spot. Guys, do you remember this brown turkey fig tree that was real slow about coming back from the winter? It had frozen and died back all the way to the ground. And I did a couple videos showing you how I had killed the powdery white mildew on it, but look at it now. It was just a little bit taller than a couple of feet, and the rain has really allowed it to grow vigorously, and it is loaded with figs, and you can see all of the new growth in the lighter color leaves. It's just beautiful, and it is parallel to that elderberry bush. So I had to sacrifice one of them, and I decided to let this one go down here and keep this beautiful brown turkey fig. And maybe because it's stronger, it may not die back so much this year. But look right here, you can see where I cut it off, right here. All of this is new growth. This is where it died back. You see all of this I cut off down here. See that little stub right there and here? And it just grew back, guys. I am so happy. Because I tried to dig it up and I couldn't because the root system is so deep. So anyway, you have to like evaluate and see what is best for you and your food forest. Okay, now I'm going to show you where I'm going to probably do the hugelkultur mound. I'll be right back. Right over here is where I have the emergency garden corn. You guys remember that? Here are the remnants of it that I'm going to put in the hugelkultur. And so I may just move out these rain barrels all in this corner of this whole shed and put that mound right here. Because eventually this old raggedy shed is going. And I think I'm going to finish pulling up the rest of the corn and the weeds all in here. And this is some good healthy soil. And that's a really nice mound or big plant of purslane that I can dehydrate, pull it up. Marigolds, I'll let them stay for a while, but I think I'm going to put 2 cherry trees right in here that are in the container right here. I'm gonna put 2 of them, and I'm gonna leave about 6 feet from this fence, so as the cherry trees get big, they won't hang over in my neighbor's yard. I'm gonna see if I can show you something. Right toward the back there, let me put my finger on it. Right there is where I have a mulberry tree and a plum tree, fig tree, and of course those banana plants. And the mulberry tree hangs over in my neighbor's yard, and I don't want that to happen anymore. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to plant the tree about 6 or 7 feet away from this fence line and put those 2 trees, cherry trees, right here and build up that soil, because cherry trees don't like wet feet. This is a low area, and right behind it I'll put the hugelkultur. It's going to be a lot of work, but I'm going to get it done. I got all the weeds up all on here, pulled up the boards, pulled up the purslane, and put it right there on that gardening table right there for me to dehydrate later. And I pull up the boards down here, pull all the plants out, even the marigolds, because they were almost dying. They're going to die in the frost, but I want to make sure that I have a lot of space between the fence and the 2 cherry trees. So I'm going to put one about right here, and I'm going to rake all of this soil over and use it and plant them up high so that they can have adequate drainage. I'm a little out of breath. I get like that when I'm bending over and working, but I'm fine. I feel really good. It's still very early in the morning. Well, I have a lot of energy. I'm going to drag those 2 big pots over here and get them in position. I'll be back. Okay, guys, it's been a change of plans. My son-in-law got here, and we both assessed the situation. Since this is the low area in the yard and I'm going to be building it up, we decided to plant something that can take more water until I can get that hugelkultur built up behind right there where the rain barrels are. So we took 2 container growing, you can see the empty containers right there, apple trees. And we're going to plant them. Well, I'm going to. He moved them and got them out of the pot. He had to rush home because he had to take a class online. And I'll be able just to mound the soil around them. I will separate the 2 trees, of course, and push this one further back. But that way, as they start growing up taller, as you can see here, the branches won't lean over the fence. Yeah, because I want to be a good neighbor. I don't want to, you know, have to be raking leaves up or cause my neighbor to have to rake leaves up. And you can see it is a good opportunity to take those. I'm going in closer so you can see those roots all in a circle. See that? So it'll be a good time for me to do these trees. And since we're going to have some 80-degree weather, upper 70s, lower 90s, I thought it would be a good time. And like I said, I'm not going to put them way down in the dirt, way down in the soil. I'm just going to build the soil up around them. Okay, I'll be back when I'm done, or halfway done. I'll show you, you know, as I get some of it done. Okay? All right. First thing I did was I moved the trees back and I shoveled the majority of the soil that the trees were sitting on top of, so that they can go down a little further in the soil, but not in as far as I would usually plant a tree. Okay, guys, I have the trees in. I still have a little more dirt to shovel to get the soil built up around the trees real good, but I have them in position where I want them, and they're looking good. And I'm gonna put more stakes on this one and center this one a little bit more. Kind of stepped on them. Get it to sink in. You can see I'm watering it right there. And I'm gonna stand back over here so you can see. Now, this Methley plum tree will be moved in this blue container, but these are dwarf trees. So I think the positions that they're in now is gonna be fantastic. And I got to put a little soil where the water sunk. That little hole right there. But I'll take care of that. But it's hot out here now. And I'm going to finish it tonight. And when the sun goes down this evening. And I will put some pavers all around the soil so it won't come out. I have some nice brick pavers in my front yard that I'm not using. They're just stacked. And I'll get those moved and get wood chips all around here. And I'll show you the finished product in another video. Not bad at all. I thank you for taking time out of your schedule to watch my video. You guys know that God loves you and I love you too. Thank you for watching, everybody. Bye now.